It's been a bit of a funny week, really, to be honest, because it's been a funny couple of weeks, because this is one of those videos that it will go out, but to be honest, I don't know how I'm going to cut up the edit yet, because there'll be certain things I'll say that I won't be able to put out, so I will have to cut up an edit. But anyway, the last couple of weeks have been quite difficult. They've been really difficult for me, they've been really difficult for Chrissy, almost impossible, because we're currently going through the negotiations with the owners of Shrewsbury Prison about our agreements that we have, and there was preliminary agreements made a long time ago, and they've basically not stuck to those. I would say they're effectively requesting twice the amount of rent, or twice the amount of money that we currently pay, for actually less than we currently get. So it's just not feasible, viable. It's just not good business at all. So we've been going into this with as much as we can to try and get it sorted, because obviously the potential is we will end up leaving Shrewsbury Prison and closing down our business there, which would cut our entire company structure on all of our companies. It would cut our total size in half. So obviously we don't want to do that. We don't want to put 20 odd people out of work, and we want to continue running something we do, but we can't do it if it's not smart or viable, or doesn't make any business sense. And we're certainly not going to be bullied or pushed back into a corner. But it's been a very stressful couple of weeks for Chrissy and I behind the scenes, because we are having to deal with all of this as run the business and try and develop it and move it forwards. It's very, very difficult to move a business forwards and drive out plans of the future and development and improvements, all those kind of things, when you know that potentially we could actually be leaving a site, and it's very, very hard to do that. So we've had a huge amount of pressure. I've had a huge amount of pressure to try and make that work. And today really is D-Day, because today the developers are coming up in about 4 hours, and we're going to meet with them, and we're going to discuss. Well, we're going to finalise it today. So one way or the other today, we will either strike the deal that makes sense for all of us, or we won't, and then we'll be announcing that we'll be leaving Shrewsbury Prison at some point soon. So I've just arrived at the jail, funny enough. But like I said, I don't know how much of this video will go out. I'll do little snippets throughout the day, and I'll cut it up and go from there. But it's the... it's a bit quiet. I guess it's the... I always do loads of videos, and we always talk publicly about different things we're doing, and there's always something behind the scenes, in any business that people won't know about or see, which includes the employees. And it's a really, I've said it a number of times, but it is a really fucking lonely world. Being a CEO of a business is really lonely. Really lonely being an owner. It's really tough. You need some solid resilience. And you need a lot of time, a lot of dedication, lots of sacrifice, so much. Like, people do not understand the level of sacrifice that a business owner has to make to run and develop, and it's just so much. If you're not a business owner, I'm sorry, you don't understand. Like, I can say that hand on heart, because I've had a lot of experience in my life. I've got kids, I've been basically bankrupt, I've had nothing, I've had money, I've been all throughout different areas of life. So I can hold my hand on my heart, I can solemnly say, if you do not run a business, you've never run a business, you do not own a business, you do not have to worry about making the books balance at the end of the month. And if you can't, you're going to have to put that money in. If you haven't experienced that, then you don't understand the pressure and the sacrifices you have to make as a business owner. I know that's a big statement. I know lots of people won't like it, but that is the truth. It is ultimately the truth. Anyway, look, I'm gonna film the bits today as we go. I'm gonna see how we get on, and I'm gonna go at this with the same thing I do with everything, with an incredibly positive attitude. I'm gonna apply every aspect I have in terms of my intelligence, in terms of my savviness, in terms of my business acumen, in terms of my personality, and we'll see where we get to. And I am confident that I can get us to a point where we get the deal that we need for everybody to flourish. So onward for the day. Just heading up for a meeting. I'm literally just making tea before we head up. Someone's coming, I think it's probably Chrissy. So just making a cup, and then we're going to head up and start our discussions and see how things go. There she is. You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. Got myself prepped.
Do you want your tea?
With my Mickey book.
We're a professional outfit. We go to meetings with Mickey Mouse books. So yeah. But yeah, just going to go do that now, and then we'll see what comes out of it. So we'll be... I think either way we're going to be drinking vodka like that. Tequila.
Yes.
We still got tequila in the bar? I'm sure we do.
I think we do.
Yay. If you're watching this video actually started a little over 7 weeks ago. So the bit you're listening to now was done back in July 11th. And I wanted to kind of do something to kind of prove how it can be done and showcase how it can be done. So, and I'm going to explain it, so bear with me. Basically, the prison that we operate in, have operated in for the last 4 years. It's just gone up on the market for sale, which kind of puts our business under potential threat, but also under potential growth. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bid in, or I have put a bid in to purchase the jail. So I put a bid in yesterday to purchase the prison. That may or may not be successful. I don't know yet. And you know, I've put in a much lower figure than they've asked for, but that's what I feel it's worth. So bid's gone in. Now we come to having to raise the finance. So I'd obviously met with the bank pre putting the bid in, just to check we could get to where we needed to be financially, and I'm pretty content that we can do. The bank are very happy with what we're asking, so that's all fine. But, and here's the dilemma, we still need to raise the remainder of the deposit, because obviously the bank went, it's 100%, that would just be mental. So we still need to raise the remainder of the deposit. So I need to raise in the region of about 180,000 on top of what I've already got to invest into it. So I've got various options of how I can do that. But what I'm gonna do is something that I really think business owners and entrepreneurs should strive to do, rather than take outside investment, because I can't just borrow it, because I'm already going to borrow money from the bank on the mortgage to buy the prison. So I need to find a deposit payment. If I borrow the deposit payment, that just gets tacked on to the money that we've already borrowed. So the bank takes that into consideration, so it doesn't help me achieve my mortgage. So I have to have that money pretty much free and clear. So I've got options. I can take an investor and effectively sell, if you will, or take an investor who will take a percentage of the business, and therefore they will input the X amount I need, 180,000, let's say. So I could take investment, I could do it that way, or I could do, I can raise it myself. So I can either input it myself or find it in the company. So what I'm going to do is, over the next 6 weeks, over the summer holidays, across my 2 prisons, my event company, and my children's fun house, we are going to look to generate £180,000 clear profit, so we can take that money and invest it into the purchase of Shrewsbury Prison. Now that's going to be quite a task, because that's a lot of money to make as clear profit, because obviously that's not just income, we want to get that as profit. So yeah, that's the challenge now. I'm throwing down the gauntlet. By the first week of September, or by the 2nd of September, I think it is, when the kids go back, I would like us to have achieved £180,000 in clear profit across our businesses. That will put us in a position to buy the prison, should our offer obviously be accepted, and then we've set ourselves up going forwards. So today I'm off to see Trevor, who is a really nice guy. He owns a property group. They are the people that were responsible. It was his idea to buy Oxford and turn it into the Malmaison Hotel. They've done an exceptional job there. They've got some really other great developments, and obviously they're in Shrewsbury. So I've worked with them for over the last 4.5-5 years now. And we've thrown around different ideas, but today is, I'm going to put my Instagram post in a second, that today is probably going to be the biggest business meeting so far of my business career. I think. And these things never go as you expect. There's a plan. I've got a plan up here of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to approach it, what I'm going to say, what I want out of it. And I know that that's just going to go out the window, and I'm going to just have to stick with what I'm trying to get out of the meeting, because these things change. But I am going today to very much discuss the future for Shrewsbury Prison, what that looks like, and to put forward my proposals, my bids, and my premise, if you will, my vision for the prison. And today is a day where we will get to a point where I'm happy with what the future holds and where we're going and what we're doing, or I'll get to a point where it's not going to go the way I'd like it to, and therefore I might have to make it, or I will be making an adjustment in terms of what I do day to day. I've arrived at my meeting. I'm actually a bit early, which is good. If I'm brutally honest, I'm actually a little bit nervous, and that's a good thing. I love nervousness, and it's been a while since I've been properly nervous, because nerves make me sharp. They make me better at what I do, so I'm quite liking that I'm a bit nervous. But yeah, it's a big meeting I'm about to go into, so we'll see how we get on, and we'll go from there. Really, I've no idea what the outcome's going to be. I'm just going to go in and do what I do, and we'll go from there, and onwards and upwards. This is my nervous face, so if you ever see me smiling like this, you know, I'm a bit nervous. No, I'm all good. So yeah, so we'll get this meeting done, we'll get our prison, and then we'll move forwards. Arrived back down in the prison, Shepton, so I've done my meeting. Needless to say, as expected, it didn't go as expected. If that kind of makes sense. It never does. You always go into these things with an expectation of how it's going to work, and it never is like that. Very interesting meeting. Did we get to a solution that I'm happy with? Well, possibly. Not quite. Do we have something we can work from and grow? Absolutely. So I think that's the key thing here, is to concentrate on that, and I'll update more as we go forwards. So where are we up to? I'm about to go and meet with the owners of the jail, and really I kind of think we're all or nothing now. We either structure a deal today or we're not going to get one. And even if we do structure it, I still think there'll be a few things, a few loopholes we have to jump through. But if we can structure it, then at least we can plan. It's a massive day, a huge day. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm nervous, I'm excited, there's butterflies. Nerves I love, because nerves make me, some people hate them, but I love them because it makes me sharp, it makes me fired. And I've been thinking about that. I've been driving for 2.5 hours to get here to the meeting, and I'm now here. I'm just about to go in, and I'm about to just switch on and go, because that's really the way I do it. And there's lots of different Joels. I'm not going to go into that too much now. I'll do that another time. But there's obviously my thinking now. I'm into negotiation stage, and this is a massive, huge moment. It's a big crossroads, and this is a defining moment. And we all have those moments in our lives, defining moments that change and dictate where your life's going to go. And I think a lot of the time we don't even realise they're defining moments at the time. It's when we look back and we can see that was the moment. And if you're able to recognise them when they're there, then I think you can make a better decision in terms of where you want to go. And this is absolutely it. And this is going to be a real turning point for me and for our business and for how it moves forwards. And also for me personally, in terms of how I behave and what's most important. Is it the money? Is it the business? Is it the employees? Is it giving back? Is it me? Is it my family? What's the most important thing? Because at some point I'm going to have to make a decision. I'm going to have to start ranking these things in order to figure out what's the deal that works. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to sort of share my feelings of it before I go into a meeting that really could change not just my future, but the future for all of my teams and potentially hundreds of thousands of other people. That sounds quite extreme, but you'll see it. I'll go through, if we get it and I can nail it, then you'll see the plans of what I was going to do and the reason why it will affect so many different people. Okay, that's Joel out. I've had my meeting. It's been in there for what, 45 minutes. 45 minutes is all it takes to change the future. Jesus. The bottom line is I've not been able to structure a deal. What they're putting forward is a great offer. It really is. It truly is a good offer, and I don't think you could work with somebody who's going to give you so much of an offer, but I just can't make it work, and it's really difficult because they are struggling to understand why I can't make it work, because they're like, you only need to find this much, and it's all relative, because to me I've kind of got the money, but if I plough it into that, we have no money to operate. So if I push in the way that they want to do the deal, I don't have enough money to operate our business, and we'd go under a couple of months later, and that's just madness, because that would have a ricochet effect across our businesses. So I've not been able to structure a deal. It's really shit. I'm really annoyed, but it's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's just timing, and I truly believe that. And maybe I'll look back on this and say, well, I should have done this or I should have done that, but I'm already up to my limit and they need more. And that's not them being greedy, that's just what the building's worth, and I just haven't got it. And you can't buy a £3 million building if you haven't got, or you can't raise 3 million quid. I mean, if you can raise some of it, then great, but you know, we're just too far away. I'm still a good chunk away, and I just can't make it work, and I really, really wish I could. Because the other option is, if we don't, we're going to be closing the business and moving out. And unfortunately, that's the way they want to go, because they want more rent. They think they'll sell it better with us not being there. So they're going to issue us notice. I don't know what that notice is going to look like. I think they'll be fair and reasonable. I certainly hope they will. And we'll exit Shrewsbury. What was supposed to be 1 year that's turned into 4.5 may end up being 5. We've had a good run of it. It's exactly what they said to me. We have had a really good run of it. We've done a lot of really good stuff, but ultimately it's gonna close, and we'll move on to the next thing. We'll move on to something else. We'll buy Shepton. So that's a plan. We'll open in Birmingham, and we'll move on and do other things. So that's got to now be the foreseeable. The plan, really. And now I've got to go and tell my business partner and my fellow director, and then figure out next week what that exit looks like and when it's going to be, and go from there. So, be honest, I'm feeling pretty gutted. Yeah, pretty gutted. But if I'm brutally honest, I feel like I've made the right decision, and I know that some people aren't going to take that well. Certainly, some of our employees won't. But I've made the right decision, because if I hadn't done it this way, we would have failed a few months down the line. I know we would have done. I know in my heart, I know in my head, I know in my stomach that I've made the right decision and not followed my heart. I've listened to my head, and I get my gut feeling, and my gut feeling is we're just not there. We're not able to make it work. In a year's time, we might be able to, because we've made more money and the business is another year further down the line. Yeah, drive back to Shrewsbury now, so that's it. That's been my day so far. Not the best Thursday, but one to remember. Like I say, I feel bad, but I feel good that I know I've made the right decision.